All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another Complexity Casting presentation. Recasting host Beef. Joining me is Riser of TT Esports. We are bringing you another semifinals match here from the Sound Blaster Heroes League Qualifier number 1. The winner of this is going to be going on to face Dendy's Jungle Devos in the grand finals tomorrow. But they're still going to have to face each other. QsQ7 taking on One Trick Pony. Riser, you stoked for, well, this is going to be our last match of the day.
Yeah, I like watching OTP. Like I said in previous casts, I feel like when they run their, well, what do they use? They usually run the Zephyr strat. I feel like they play very clean. They very succinctly. They don't overextend. They don't make, poor decisions as far as, when to engage and when to not, when to push and when to not. So I'm very impressed by them, and I think they have the potential to be a very good team. So yeah, excited to see them play. QsQ, I think we casted them earlier, but they had Panty, did they not? So now they have Death Grouse. They got their full lineup. So let's see if that makes a difference for them.
Yeah, now when we were casting QsQ7 earlier, that was a Han Tour match. They were going to be going up against Fortune Bakery, Absolute Legends. If you didn't catch that one, make sure to check out the VOD section here, twitch.tv/ComplexityHan. Instant VODs available on Twitch, and of course over at youtube.com/beefpotpie1. We have all the VODs nice and cut up, playlist format, so make sure to check that out. You can also just click the link down there that says VODs. But QsQ, they looked kind of rough compared to where we saw them yesterday. Absolute Legends dominated them, to be honest, but with their full roster, we'll see if they're able to pull it out against One Trick Pony.
Yeah, I was a little disappointed in them because I remember we watched them scrim, at least briefly, against Swinamone's team, Stay Green, where I felt like they were playing very well, and it seemed like they were quite far ahead, but unfortunately had to be cut a little short, so we didn't get to see the end result of that. But yeah, I had pretty good expectations after watching that, but they didn't perform particularly well today. They got, like you said, dominated by the new Absolute Legends team. But with their full roster here, let's see if they can, play as well as they did yesterday.
We'll see. We already have blind bands going out way up there. Plague Rider and Ophelia, Keeper of the Forest, and Wild Soul. Pretty standard bands. Plague Rider maybe sticks out just a little bit, but not too much. Certainly not as much as a couple of the heroes in the lock. Riser, why don't you tell us about them?
Yeah, sure. So, yeah, Plague Rider, little standout, but everything else normal. Here's what gets interesting. Pestilence is the first lock, which you don't see very often. Feral Wretched Hag followed up, pretty standard. Torture Glacius, once again, pretty standard. Then finished off with Arachna. So, Pestilence and Arachna, heroes we don't really see very often. So, I'm curious if the Legion team locked Pestilence because they're interested in running it, or they've got, some tricks up their sleeve. But the banning and pick phase taking place very quickly.
Yeah, they're going quick. Into the bans we go. Zephyr, Fade, Tempest, Parasite, Engineer, and Pebbles. So 4 very strong ganking heroes. The Fade, Parasite, Engineer, Pebbles. And then a couple of strong pushers being banned out there. Not a whole lot of bans going toward jungling heroes. I mean, Tempest and Parasite, I guess. But overall, I guess Wild Soul, Keeper of the Forest, and Ophelia were already banned. So that's 5 in total. Legionnaire still in there. Who's the other one that I'm missing?
Lord Salforus.
There you go, Lord Salforus. Well, Legionnaire is picked right there, as all the rest of the jungles are in fact banned. But let's get into the picking phase. First pick up was Aluna. You like that as a first pick?
Yeah, Aluna definitely excellent. They went with the War Beast, so the counter push Aluna provides, very powerful. Like I like to say, 2 top tier supports, Aluna, Glacius. So securing one of them while Glacius is in the lock pool, and they may not be able to pick him up because they are first pick, unless they want to first pick Glacius, which you don't see very often in the lock pool, is, not ideal. So yeah, Aluna first pick, great. I wanted to point out, though, in the banning phase, they instantly banned Zephyr, which makes a lot of sense because, like I said, when they run that Zephyr, I feel like they do an excellent job of it. So QsQ, I guess, did their homework, or they played against them and know that the Zephyr strategy is one of their favorites. So instantly banning that, really good idea.
All right. Well, going into it further, Warbeast is going to come out again. We saw him be pretty successful in the last game. See if OTP can make it happen here, just like, well, Pudge did in the last game. Complementing that Warbeast, they're also going to be running the Master of Arms Meraxis. They pick up Arachna and Pharaoh, so Arachna makes her way into the pick. What's up with that?
Wow, Arachna. I guess I thought it was kind of, one of those trollish style locks.
Yeah, yeah.
They had something up their sleeve, but nope, Arachna. Very interesting. I don't know. This is definitely don't see Arachna very often. I assume she's going to be in that safe lane like most carries, and well, of course she's going to be there, and whoever she's up against, probably that Bubbles, is going to get annihilated because Bubbles is not going to do anything against Arachna. So definitely have that going for them. And yeah, I mean, I don't really know. She's just not a very popular hero. She doesn't offer much except for the slows, and her ultimate is pretty good. I mean, everyone can just turn and smack it and it's gone. But yeah, I don't see her too often, so I'm interested to see how Zibby, who I think last time I casted him, he's always playing Hag and he does very well, so see if he can make an impact on this Arachna.
Yeah, it seems like Zibby does have a lot of Hag experience, but of course that's going to be going to Bag in a Box this time. So QsQ777, let's go ahead and get this change. Oh, no, wrong screen. There we go. Made sure to change the banner screen very, very quickly this time, so that, man, people were really upset when I forgot that for like 3 minutes last game.
It's okay, you were just trolling them. It was funny.
Oh wow, they were really mad. I even told them in chat, I'm like, sorry, it's gonna be like this for 3 minutes, and that just made it worse. Last time I apologized to you, ingrates. I'm just kidding. I love you guys. Thank you for sticking it out with us, by the way. It's been a relatively long day now. Started at about 9 o'clock my time. That's, of course, noon Eastern time. And, well, it's now getting close to 3 o'clock, so 6 hours so far. Probably going to be about 7 hours when we shut it all down. But I'm happy to be here with you guys. Riser, thank you very much for joining me for most of today.
Yeah, I definitely enjoyed it. So, yeah, 7 hours, that's a pretty good haul.
Yeah, a pretty good amount of casting done today. Tomorrow, of course, I will, of course, be back trying to bring you guys a few scrims in the morning. Won't be there a real long time because I'll be shutting my stream down when Honcast does turn on so that they can get coverage of the Sound Blaster Heroes League Grand Finals for Qualifier number 1. Because I'll be watching that just as you guys are. But in the morning, probably bring you guys between 2 and 3 hours of scrims. So that will be fun for sure. And of course, at the end of today's cast, and well, just in the next hour, whenever this game ends, we're going to be giving away that creative Rage wireless headset. So stay tuned for more information about that. Going to be doing another one of the Twitter contests. This time it's going to be a little bit different. I'm going to post the question on Twitter. And then people are going to have to answer it on there instead of on chat and then answering on Twitter. I think that might be a little bit easier for people to follow. But I'm new to giving away these ridiculously nice hardware pieces. So learning as I go. And, well, we're going to get back on into this game, Riser. 4 players making their way up top. That's actually 5 players now for the Legion team. Going to go up there. Imboboy leads the charge on Legionnaire.
Yeah, I really want to secure this ward. I mean, I think it's just going to be Arachna up here, so that pull ward probably not going to have a huge impact. But just in case, they won't be able to, counter ward that if they if they were actually up there for quite a while. So securing that, yeah, Hellborn team is content to just sit around. They got their ward of their own off, so not going to see much until the lane starts. I like MOA Meraxis. Man, I really think MOA is a very underrated support hero. I think he could be excellent. I feel like his 2 nukes early game are really good. The stun, the stun is a little lacking. The range is kind of short, and the projectile is slow. But just the amount of damage he can do if he can get that stun and his nuke off are really good. The ultimate is huge. Say Legionnaire blinks in, taunts someone, then Master of Arms pops the ult on them, and they don't die. It's very powerful.
Yeah, well, for how much you love that stun, you sure found a lot of stuff that was bad about it. Yeah. But top lane, it looks like it's going to be a long lane Aluna Torturer. They're going to be up against the short lane Arachna. Now, If that Arachne gets out of position, she could certainly find herself in some trouble with those two heroes. A lot of harass potential. And Torture is even going to go in here, and he's going to do a little bit of pulling. So he's going to actually pull the creep wave back, and he's going to substitute himself for a Tree Dog or a Warby's Tellhound and pull that back toward his advantage.
Yeah, I think that's good, as long as he continues to kite them. Okay, which he's doing. Okay, that's good. I didn't want... he's gonna get owned if he doesn't. But yeah, doing a good job. I like the Legion's lanes. I like how they're contesting this Arachna, because they know that any hero that's solo up there against Arachna is gonna get dominated, which is exactly what the Hellborn had in mind. So setting up these two heroes here should assure that Arachna won't get that much, and frankly, Arachna not getting much in the early game is going to be a detriment to your team. I mean, she can't recover. How does she recover? She has no farming tools, and you know, it's, I think, very good choice by the Legion team to contest this Arachna. So good job by them. But looks like they're just going to go for a dual lane, and MOA coming up here, which I think is exactly what they needed to do. So Arachna should get some farm now. I think the Legion should have a better time in this lane. I feel like if they can catch either of these heroes off guard, especially if they can catch the MOA and chain stun him, I mean, Arachna can't really save him. What's he going to do? He's going to throw this web at him. So there will be initiation onto this MOA, and he's in a lot of trouble, but Torture's going to be in trouble as well. First blood comes out. Nice health pot, but yeah, he's going to go down as well. So,
Arachna's going to man up onto Luna, actually.
Yeah.
And Luna will have to back off. You can see just how hard that Arachna hits. No items really to speak of other than those 4 minor totems, but still just hits very, very hard, as Arachna's going to have to dodge right here. Going to try to turn it around, though. Charge shot not going to come in just yet.
Yeah, you know, they got the first blood, but Torture did take a fall. So, but interesting to note is, you mentioned that Arachna's doing a lot of damage, but Warbeast is actually elected to get his W spell, which is kind of an uncharacteristic build. I've seen people do it, and it's definitely good, especially for a dual range lane. Boosting their damage up significantly could be, you know, make the big difference. So, yeah, interesting choice by Archie there.
Yeah, we'll see how that one comes out. Of course, that his E, what is that one called? His Primal Rage. That increases his damage and attack speed by quite a bit, and that of his wolves. So sacrificing a lot to get that. Of course, if you do hit level 4 of his Rallying Cry, is that what it is? Battle Cry. Then it does reduce the mana cost on that all the way down to 0. So that you can just have really, really high uptime of that spell. And of course, across the map. So it'll be nice eventually. But right now, I think it'll set his farm back a little bit.
Yeah, it definitely will. I think you farm much faster when you level up that Primal Rage. So I think he's going to go ahead and just level it up. Because one point is good, but I think he's just going to continue to level it up. And yeah, it does definitely set his farm back. Take a look at the other lanes. This bottom lane, you would expect Wretched Hag to just dominate Pharaoh with that haunt spam, but Pharaoh's doing an excellent job. He's got 15 creep kills. Hag has 15 as well. Hag picking up a couple more here, but really nice job by Streetfighter. I remember he played Pharaoh against Stay Green. We watched him scrim, and he did a phenomenal job. Or was it? It might have been someone else. But I just remember his Pharaoh was just very, very good. He's taking some harass here, but Hag's gonna fall back, and he does have his life tube, so yeah, that'll definitely help with the harass coming out from each Hag.
Yeah, life tube will keep him in the game down there, so he is able to march forward and get those last hits. Arachna has to go to town up in the top lane, where she does immediately buy that Homecoming Stone. We'll be using that to get back out to base relatively soon here. But actually, bottom lane, Bubbles is going to be gone on as Wretched Hag comes in, gets the vengeance, but not quite in time as Bubbles does fall. Zane getting caught a little bit out of position there, and Pharaoh made him pay for it.
Yeah, good job by Hag recognizing that he can come up there and help him out, but you know, also good catch by Pharaoh taking that haste rune, and yeah, looks like Mirax is having a great time in this middle lane. He's got almost 26 creep kills, 300 gold per minute. Already got the bottle, and interesting is the creep scores top lane. Torture is at 230 gold per minute because he got that bloodlust, but both heroes not really farming anything. I think it's just
they're scared.
it's dual range versus dual range, and this has a tendency to happen where no one gets any grief kills. So,
yeah, they're both very scared of the instant stuns that can come out and kind of render either one of them in a ton of trouble.
Yeah, for sure. The MOA, if he gets caught out of position, he's only got one minor totem, so he is so squishy. And if he gets caught out of position, well, there's not much his teammate can do besides, you know, cue them with the web shot. So he has to be very careful. Legionnaires at level 6, close to 300 gold per minute, so he's doing quite well. Doesn't have the taunt ability yet, which I like. I like the super selfish build, so you just farm a lot, and that's the way to go. Don't need to gank anyone. But, yeah, good for him. Looks like he might be ready to this middle lane because Bubbles is taking some harass against Miraxis.
Yeah, they're going to try to get Miraxis down here. Miraxis just spammed out a ton of those axes. Those things are so cheap. I was doing something. Anyway, I can't talk about that just yet because there's action coming in. Wretched Hag gets there with the Bat Blast. Kelpfield goes down. The Matrax, though, just regenning. Look at how tanky he is. He breaks the kelp field, and he's just going to keep on moving. Cuts down the tree, and the Matrix is going to explode. But he didn't even dip below 70% life with double ults being used there. And even the Wrath of the Pharaoh going to come in. He's going to try to catch Bubbles. Waits until he wants to get just one person. Now he's going to have to back off. Pharaoh in a little bit of trouble. Decapitation might be coming in relatively soon. Legionnaire wants to get that terrifying charge, and he's going to go for the cutoff. Not quite able to find it, though.
Yeah, Pharaoh kind of poured it in with... I mean, Pharaoh's a hero with almost no mana. Especially if you go with a Hatchet Shield build, where you don't have any stats. So yeah, he didn't have any mana when he came in. Kind of wasted his ult, didn't do anything. But he did live, because he had those boosts and outran Legionnaire despite having the haunt. But, yeah, oh, the Miraxis. It's so hard to kill Miraxis early game when he's level 6, man, as you can see. Like, he just... when there's 3 heroes around, his ultimate gains, you know, the charges so quickly. I mean, it's almost impossible to kill him unless you can absolutely lock him down.
Ooh.
So,
Arachna very low there. Gets a potion, though, so she'll be fine. Yeah, Miraxis is an annoying hero. I was going to tell my story in the middle of that team fight. But now Bubbles is getting initiated on once again. The Quake comes out, not able to secure that kill. Nice job, shell surfing from Bubbles. He's going to come in for take 2, though. The Matrax is being activated. The kelp field goes up. The Matrax detonates, and there he gets the kill onto Bubbles. Going to wait for that kelp field. The kelp field's gone. Mirax is able to get out of there, and even drops a Quake for good measure onto Torturer's face.
Yeah, nice kill from Mirax. Just landing all those axes as well. So, oh, is he going to get this haste turn, or is Luna going to get it?
He's going to get it, and he's going to kill Luna.
Oh yeah, there he goes.
See ya, Luna. Oh, no. He went the wrong direction. That's unfortunate. But back to my story about annoying Miraxis that I've been trying to tell for like 10 minutes. Like a couple days ago, I was doing a short lane, a Luna solo against Miraxis, who's Miraxis Suicide, but his team had an Empath and a Glacius in it, and they were both maxing out their auras, and every harassment that I put into him, he just regened up, and was able to get like every single last hit, just spamming his axes, never, ever running out of mana. And I was so mad, and then I finally went to go kill him, and he was at like 20% life when I finally pushed up and just started pounding auto attacks into him, activated his Matrax, and actually turned around and killed me, even though I had like Steam boots, and he had like a Mystic Vestments and no red boots. And he just turns around and kills me, and I was so mad. I was raging, that's for sure.
Yeah, he's just so tanky. He doesn't even need... I mean... It's nice to have like a Helmet of Black Legion on him or something, but oftentimes you'll see people not even bother.
Yeah,
they'll just
Steam Boots Vestments.
Steam Boots Vestments, exactly. Then the portal key, and then you know, as long as his ultimate is up, it's in a team fight. He's putting out ridiculous damage. So Wretched Hag is actually in this top lane. So is Bubbles, but I guess Torture is in the middle lane now because he did teleport there to try and save Bubbles, but didn't work out. And so Hag's up here. Legionnaire's bottom, he wants to kill this Pharaoh. He's going to use the Clarifying Charge, and Pharaoh's not aware of this, so if the taunt comes out, Bubbles probably going to activate that ultimate. Ooh.
Wrath of the Pharaoh, nice job with that shell serve, or that kelp field, though. If he had kept running without that kelp field being there, he might have escaped. But good job from the Legionnaire and from the Bubbles to team up and get the kill onto Pharaoh. So Strewfooter having a little bit more trouble now. 244 gold per minute as Miraxis is going to get caught out. Wow, he got blown up. Not able to get the Matrax off that time. and got disintegrated.
Yeah, I mean, if they can stun him before he gets it off, I mean, they can kill him, but, you know, as obviously they just did, but yeah. Yeah, I mean, Pharaoh's struggling, but he's got 43 creep kills. That's pretty good, especially against he was up against that hag, so definitely solid. Legionnaire's actually got great farm. He's up at 322 gold per minute. He's been involved in 2 kills as well. Got those boots, and I'm curious if he's going to go, I mean, if he's going to get some more, you know, build-up items, or he's just going to go straight for the portal key, or maybe even like a Soul's Bulwark to increase his farm, but definitely farming very well right now. He's level 9. I think he's the highest level in the game, so nice job by him.
Yeah, looking good. He's 80 experience per minute higher than anybody else in the game. So I think he's doing very, very well. The other jungler, Warbeast, I was just taking a look at him. He finished up that Abyssal Skull, so going to be able to farm pretty contently. Not picking up any boots just yet, but interesting that he does, in fact, max out that Primal Battle Cry.
Oh, well, he maxed it before he even got the wolves.
Yeah.
Oh, that's hardcore. Huh.
So he likes having that. And I mean, when it's on cooldown, it's, what, like a 22-second cooldown or something? And like a 10-second use? 16-second use, and cooldown's 25 seconds. So your uptime on that is pretty much like 2/3 of the time that's going to be up, and it costs no mana. So that's not bad. Able to give your team a lot of damage, for sure.
Maybe they just thought they wanted to stack the Arachna and Warbeast Aura. I mean, that could be potentially what their thought process was behind the Arachna pick. But I mean, I know people, a lot of like teams in Dota. I don't know if they still do this, but they used to. They would go for like the Aura stacks. Like they pick Beastmaster with the Inner Rage and all that stuff. So maybe a similar strategy coming out with the early battle cry and the Arachna. What is it called? Precision. There it is.
Precision. Yeah, and speaking of Arachna, somebody that really hasn't been involved with a whole lot, she's finished up those Steam Boots, bringing the teacher as well as the Wrath of the Pharaoh going to come in. She drops the spider onto Torture, and they're going to try to bring him down. Down goes Torture. Master of Arms take a lot of counter damage. Bat Blast going to come out and does manage to get that Master of Arms. So a nice counter kill using the Bat Blast to get him. But Torture falls, and so a nice gank. Arachna gets credit for that one, bringing her GPM up to nearly 300.
Yeah, it's actually not that bad. I mean, it's much higher than Torture. I thought Torture was going to have a much better time in this top lane, but he kind of was roaming around left, and you know, Arachna kind of capitalized on that with, you know, 52 creep kills is pretty respectable. So good game by Pharaoh, and they might want to try and take on this hag, but it's going to be pretty hard without the spider or the Wrath of the Pharaoh. So she's going to just, you know, feel pretty safe about continuing to push this tower, and I believe they did deny a tower. Okay, yeah, they denied bottom tower. Warbeats ran down there. So, yeah, it looks pretty good for the Hellborn right now, I think. Warbeats is forming well. Interested to see what Legionnaire is going to bust out, if he's going to have a big impact soon.
Yeah, Legionnaire, speaking of him, he's very, very close to his portal key. About 60 gold off right now. Do you think he's going to grab that portal key without going any kind of mana items just yet?
I think he can. I think he can get it. Yeah, okay, he just did. So he can, and then build some mana items afterwards. Maybe just go for a gank like in this middle lane, and then use that gold to maybe just buy something like a chalice or even a mana battery. So I think, yeah, I think it's fine. I like getting early portal key. I used to like to go before it, but
Hasted Wretched Hag trying to chase down Strucefooter on the Pharaoh here. Hellfire is activated, and with the offensive Master's Call, Pharaoh is able to get out of there. Wretched Hag going to go ahead and chug that bottle and make her way back over toward the middle lane. Goes in for a Sonar Scream. No, not even going to use the Sonar Scream. But it looks like they will be going for that middle defensive tower.
yeah, this tower's very low, and the MOA comes up with a spam, but the tower's so low that yeah, they're easily just going to take that. In the meantime, Arachna is kind of pushing the top lane, but instantly someone's going to TP up there to stop that. Good job by Hag. And the Legion team is roaming around trying to set up a kill in the jungle, but there was a ward of sight placed by Zenui. It's going to see them all, and then Arachna's just charging in. This could be great for the Hellborn team. Arachna's not going to die. Bubbles is getting caught up to He will shelter about up to the Cap field. Pharaoh's in a lot of trouble. Decapitate doesn't kill him. Meanwhile, in the background, Arachna is taking out Torturer. Legionnaire's in a lot of trouble. I believe, yeah, Torturer did fall, Bubbles did fall, so 3 kills and maybe 4.
Yeah, they're going to get the Illuna.
He's dead for sure. So that
Web
one
shot.
word of sight, man, set up all of that, and great job by Miraxis. It was very crucial he got his ultimate off before he got disabled, so that made a really big difference in him living. So yeah, man, that word of sight, just they knew they were coming and just reacted accordingly and took a huge advantage of it.
Yeah, when you were saying right before that fight that you felt Hellborn was in a really good position, I was like, well, and the stats say slightly otherwise. I would say it's more equal, and then that happened, and now they're in a great position. Warbeast finishes up his Steam Boots, of course, and then sitting on 1,700 gold, so well on his way to a Shrunken Head if that's what he's going to go. Also, a Mighty Blade being picked up by the Arachna, so she's going to be working on that Shrunken Head. Miraxis with a couple of his mana regeneration items and very close to his portal key, only about 200 gold off. And Pharaoh going to start working toward a Helm of the Black Legion, where he finds himself about 550 gold away. A lot of that money could come from Kongor, which is what Warbeast and Pharaoh are working on right now. Oh, they're actually going to turn their attention toward Illuna. The Wrath of the Pharaoh comes in after the charge shot. Illuna's going to go down. They've revealed their intent to Kongor, so they're going to go ahead and back off for now. But getting the kill on Illuna, certainly not a bad way to go out.
Yeah, they've got a great team for Kongor. That Pharaoh, Hellfire, Warbeast with the extra damage, Arachna as well. So, yeah, I'm curious to see if Arachna's just... Yeah, he is just going for that straight Shrunken Head. Wow. So no farming items, no Whispering Helm or whatever you make on Arachna. I don't play that hero. But, yeah, he's just going straight Shrunken Head. And, yeah, I think it's fine. I think Shrunken Head's great this game. Versus that Hag, especially Bubbles, you know, being able to move around. Not that great against Legionnaire, but, I mean, I don't know what you get against Legionnaire besides, like, Cyclone. But, anyway, yeah, he's got, you know, good farm. 316 gold per minute, 3-0-2, great score. So, he's looking great, along with a lot of the Hellborn heroes. They're all just starting to pick up their core items. Warbeast looks like he's going to go for that BKB. He could get a shield breaker, but probably just going to go for that BKB, the safer route.
Bubbles in some trouble in the bottom lane. Portal key being revealed and double damage. Miraxis brings down the turtle. Matrax doing a lot of damage up there with that level 12 Miraxis. And level 10 Bubbles not quite tanky enough, even though he got into his shell for a little bit there. But OTP extending their lead up to 5,000 experience and 2,500 gold now. Looking very strong 18 minutes into the game.
Yeah, for sure. And you just want to compare this Torturer basically to the Arachna, and Torture's level 8, Arachna's level 10, Arachna's almost got a Shrunken Head, Torture's sitting at, well, I guess scope per minute isn't that much lower, but still, he's not where he wants to be. I feel like their dual lane didn't do enough work. I'm kind of surprised how their dual lane went a little more poorly than it should have, because honestly, MOA Arachna is, you know, while they've got a lot of potentially harass damage, you know, they don't really have the burst or the disable, so kind of a disappointing lane top for the Legion.
Oh, middle lane. Legionnaire goes in and down goes Miraxis. A great taunt, and he uses that Bat Blast before he was able to get that Matrax off. And that's what you're talking about. Before he gets CC'd last time in that fight, he was able to get the Matrax off, and that's why he was able to live and contribute so much to that team fight. That right there is a perfect example of why you need to get that Matrax off, because without it, he's very, very squishy.
Exactly, yeah. He's got the Steam Boots and the Vestments, but, you know, look at his health. What was he? Is he on Intreds? Yeah, he was on Intreds, but still, I mean, you know, he's with the Legionnaire Taunt and maybe a Bubble Silence and follow-up from Hag or whatever else they had. You know, yeah, they can definitely bring him down. It was just, yeah, that was why, you know, getting his ultimate off when he ran up that hill was so crucial. But, yeah, that was definitely a good pick from Legion. Legionnaire is continuing to farm. He's level 13 now, so not really far ahead of everyone, but he's got, you know, almost 400 gold per minute, and he picked up his ghost. He just bought something. I didn't see what it was. What did he buy? Oh, okay, so he's going to go for a Bulwark. Or he could go for Blade Mail, which is really good against Warbeast.
Yeah, I would say Blade Mail is great.
Yeah, I've played Legionnaire against Warbeast, and the Blade Mail, Warbeast does so much damage that if you can catch him with it, he returns a very significant amount of damage to him. So whether it's going to be a Bulwark or a Blade Mail, we'll have to see. I think Bulwark is a little more standard. Just increases all of his damage, his charge, his spin. It's a fantastic item for Legionnaire, so I'll see what he decides to go for.
Yeah, I think I could agree that Bulwark is perfectly fine as well. But we shall see the Legion team just continuing to try to catch back up and farm. And they have narrowed up that golden experience lead a little bit, closing it about halfway for the gold and a little less than halfway for the experience. But, of course, QsQ777, they're not looking forward to giving up this game anytime soon. And the golden experience lead is very small at this point. So, not saying that they should by any means. But they're going to need to take some favorable engagements, hopefully get a couple of towers as well. Maybe get some more aggressive warding going on so that they can gank some of those heroes that are easily gankable, like the Arachna or even the Master of Arms.
Yeah, for sure. I think Arachna is still quite squishy. I think Legionnaire can probably kill her if she's on her agility steam boots by himself pretty easily. But yeah, I think Legion is a little behind, but I think a lot of it's going to come down to if either team can set up kills and the initiation. Initiation is very big this game. Heroes like Meraxis and Pharaoh, the Master of Arms ultimate for the counter, and yeah, so good initiation is going to make it. But Meraxis may get jumped in the middle lane.
Yeah. He is going to get jumped. Doesn't get the Matrax off just yet. The Decapitate comes out actually a little bit too early, and Meraxis is able to get out of there. So not exactly working out. Hag held on to her ultimate. She held on to the Haunt as well. I feel like either of those might have done the damage that, well, certainly the Bat Blast would have. I don't think she had enough mana, though. Is that what the problem was?
Yeah, she is quite even right now, so it could have been the mana. But yeah, I think Legionnaire, he casted it once, then he decided, oh, I'm not close enough, and I think he just kind of did it in desperation at the end, because if he just got a lucky spin at the end, that maybe he would have been low enough to ult, but before he got his ultimate off, So yeah, failed gank, but not the end of the world for them. It was very close.
It was very close, but in the end, Meraxis does escape. Warbeast, he's got some points into his Primal Rage now. He's level 13, so getting 3 points into that, and now level 14 maxes it out. Finished up his Shrunken Head and on his way toward his next big item. Looks like the Hellborn team has done a very effective job of spreading out their farm very well, with the Arachna and the Warbeast both sitting up there around 330, 360 gold per minute, and then the Meraxis closing in on 300 himself. Even Pharaoh bringing up the rear at 250. They've got a lot of strong heroes on their team. They're going to go toward Congar once again, but the Legion team very, very well aware of this, as they're going to make their way over and try to do something about it. That is a torture illusion, so they don't get fooled.
Yeah, like I said, they've got a great team for Congar, and he's dropping pretty low, but they're going to let the fall back. Oh, Legionnaire taunts in, gets the Warbeast, but counter initiation for Meraxis.
Oh, a beautiful Wrath of the Pharaoh coming out. The Bat Blast hitting a couple right there, and down goes Warbeast. Legionnaire in the middle of things. He's taking a lot of pressure as well. Arachna trying to get it happening, but not quite able to. Hag will go down. Legionnaire, one more auto attack. No, it's not going to be enough. And so he will TP on out safely. A 1-for-1 exchange in the end, with Legionnaire being grievously wounded, but he's able to get out alive.
Yeah, that was quite a chaos.
Oh, Meraxis comes back in, and Torture is going to take a fall, so that tips it in favor of the Hellborn, certainly. Warbeast up in 25 seconds. You can be sure that the Hellborn will look for it to finish off that Congar soon.
Yeah, I think they can go for it because the ultimates from the Legion team are down, and they all have relatively short cooldown ultimates. Pharaoh, Meraxis, Master of Arms, even Arachna. They all do. Everyone on the team has a short cooldown in their ultimate, as compared to the Kelp Field, the Bat Blast. So I think they can feel pretty confident just heading back into Congar, finishing it off. It's still quite low. It's going to regen some, but yeah, they can definitely do that. I'd like to see Meraxis just go regen up, and then they can go take it. But he's just going to farm the top lane a little, push it back out, and Warbeast maybe going to try and clean up these Ancients a little. But Legion team really does not want to give up this Congar, so they're already back over here, making sure they're not doing it. And yeah, I guess the Hellborn team's content to maybe wait a bit and try later. Ooh. Oh, okay, that was just taunting. He just blinked into the Ancient, steal that farm, which would be nice for him. So the Hellborn is not really. They don't think they have that much vision up here.
they rocketed Congo because they're not sure if they could have snuck in. But Legion team, yeah, just kind of chilling, hanging around. Really don't want to get Kong doing, and for good reason. So, but both teams, I guess, kind of backing off, just going to continue to farm. And MOA maybe going to come up here and do some warding, trying to get some more vision, drops a counter ward, but doesn't find anything. He's going to fall back.
Yeah, both teams with the posturing around Kongor. One will finally get out of position, perhaps, and the other one will try to capitalize on it with items like the Hellflower that Hag has picked up now. Could make very, very quick work out of someone that's out of position. Legionnaire does finish up that Soul's Bulwark, so he goes the slightly more standard item route that you were talking about, and he's already got another 900 gold saved up. He's farming well, 367 gold per minute, top farmer in the game. And stealing those ancients, stuff like that, certainly helps out. He's spotted out by a ward, and they want to go grab that Invis rune bottom. They're actually not aware of it at this point, as now the Legion team is going to be pushing up the bottom lane. All 5 players are there. Red power throw goes out, just doing a little bit of scouting information. But 4 players from the Hellborn going to be trying to intercept. In the top lane, though, Warby's trying to get a little bit of pushing done. And 3 TPs come out. The defensive tower is going to be denied. Warby's actually had to use his Shrunken Head as well as his ultimate to get out of there safely. And TP's immediately down toward that bottom lane. And this is the shimmy shake. With those 3 TPs going off, they're going to try to blitz down Kongor. You think they're going to be able to make it before the Legion team gets back over here?
Yeah, it's going down very quickly. Look at that, wow. And yeah, perfectly played by the Hellborn team. Instant reaction from RG Tiger, TPing down there, knowing exactly that.
That was extremely intelligent.
Yeah.
I was watching it, and I'm like, is that what they're doing? No, that's way too well thought out. But yeah, that was perfect. A great job there from RG Tiger, giving up a deny on that tower. Not a huge deal by any means. You lose out on like 800 gold for your team or something like that. But they get the Kongor, and that's really big. The Token of Life on Arachna. She's farming 370 gold per minute, picks up the Firebrand, and she's going to be hitting pretty hard in the middle of these team fights.
Yeah, she's 5-0-2. It's a very impressive score. 370 gold per minute, definitely quite high. And a Token of Life is nice because she still is, like I said, kind of squishy, especially versus Legionnaire. But with this token, she can play much more aggressively. And Legion trying to counter push some mid, but I mean they haven't even started on it, so I don't see them taking this unless the Hellborn decides not to react. But yeah, they're just gonna give it up. They're heading top actually. Maybe they're gonna go top or just farm the jungle. I don't know. Top tower is a little lower. Okay, there's someone TPing in, but this could be bad because they could pick off this. Oh, he has the token.
Arachna. Yeah. They're making their way over. They want to go in. Legionnaire drops the taunt. The taunt is successful, and Arachna is going to be in some trouble. She is going to fall. Miraxis with a huge quake, getting 4 players. Wrath of the Pharaoh going to come back into the Legion team. All of a sudden, in a ton of trouble. The Fork Lightning goes out, and that's 3 players down. Legionnaire trying to escape the portal key, and he will be safe. But 3 players down. And Miraxis almost catches that Legionnaire, but not quite able to. Bait that token pretty damned well. I wish they had a Tempest there to catch and capitalize off that 4-man quake.
Yeah, that was
huge.
Oh, Jesus.
That was a big stun. Big shout out to Fusey.
Yeah, really well played by him, and I think that was just not a good choice from the Legion team. You know, they know he had the token. They thought maybe they'd get a quick kill and out, but you know, he didn't die that quickly. He had the token, so just resurrected.
Yeah. You got to be aware in these super high tier games that if you're diving someone behind their tower and you don't have anybody else on the map doing things, you got to expect that there's going to be 2 or 3 TPs coming in, especially to try to save their carry. And they just got completely counter-initiated on there. Lost 3 players. Legionnaire and Luna were the only ones to get out. Yeah. And so losing that Torture, losing that Bubbles, and of course losing that Hag. She's kind of their carry player, their super late game hope, and losing out on some farm and losing out on some gold because of that death.
Oh my god, stop calling me. Yeah, exactly what you said. You know, the counter initiation from Miraxis, especially in a Pharaoh. You know, Pharaoh is just one of those heroes that's known for you dive someone.
I'll take it. Geometry's been finished up on Arachna, but like you said, the counter initiation potential from a Pharaoh is very, very high. As Meraxis bottles up a regen rune, gives it to Warbeast so that he can get all of his mana back. Haste is activated for another second, so relevant on Meraxis. And Arcana is being worked on both Pharaoh and Meraxis now.
Yeah, Hellflower definitely pretty staple on Meraxis. It's rare you don't see one people build it unless they have absolutely no farm, which happens sometimes. But yeah, definitely a good pickup. Would like to see a Cyclone come out from probably Bubbles. He's not really farming much. Not going to get a Hellflower. Maybe him or Torture, but they're both farming pretty poorly. And yeah, they're going to counter push this top lane, which is definitely the correct choice. They definitely should not fight bottom, because if you look at the gold and XP, and I don't know, the Hellborn's very confident right now with how the fights have been going recently.
Yeah, for sure. Pork Lightning going out to try to push back that creep wave. Tower trade scenario. I think that Legion was really happy with that, like you said. Not really willing to commit to a fight at this point, which they shouldn't be, because they're down 8,000 gold and 11,000 experience. They need to be looking for picks. They need to be looking for good team fight engagements where they have vision and they know the opposing team does not. Speaking of vision, neither team with a bound eye just yet. It's getting pretty late, 32 minutes into the game. It's kind of rare that we don't see a bound eye at this point.
Yeah, I'd like to see maybe the Hellborn pick one up, because I definitely feel like they have map control right now. I mean, look how they're just kind of standing in the middle lane with no, fear at all whatsoever. So yeah, bound eye could be a very, very good pickup from maybe the Master of Arms. But Warbeast did like to go for that Shield Breaker, and he's going to be putting out a lot of damage. So
yeah,
I like it. I think they need a bulwark. But
in comes the Legionnaire. Barbed Armor activated. Shrunken Head being activated from Hag. Ult's only one person, though. A lot of people are going to be dying rich, and Hag is going to be going down as well as Pharaoh. And in the middle of things, Rax is trying to get out of that mummy wall, but not quite able to. They're going to turn their attention to Torture, who just absolutely disintegrates in the back of things. Oh, Arachna just tears apart the Legion team, and that very well may do it right here, guys. A genocide 5 for 1 in favor of the Hellborn team, and it was nice initiation from Legionnaire, but not even remotely able to take down that Warbeast before the counter initiation came in. And I really feel like QsQ777, they're underestimating the ability of this Hellborn team to counter initiate and take these team fights.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, exactly. They've got Pharaoh, like I pointed out earlier. Just you jump in. I mean, what is Pharaoh going to do? He's going to do nice snipe from Aluna.
Oh,
he's got the MOA, but yeah, I mean, MOA, another hero also that they go on someone, whoever they go on Hellflower, you just use that Red Master's Call and they absorb a ton of damage. So, yeah, the counter initiation from the Hellborn team is great. And that's a great tool to have when you've got Arachna and Warbeast for pushing. I mean, Arachna, you get the True Strike, so you can just sit there and smack away at the tower. Warbeast with the extra damage and the wolves, just sit there smacking away at the tower. And, why don't you guys go on us? And if you do, you're just going to get annihilated by our Pharaoh and our Meraxis counter initiation. So, yeah, great tools to have when you've got that kind of pushing potential.
I really do like One Trick Pony, their lineup, quite a bit. And you were kind of singing the praises of them while we were doing the pick screen and how much you like them. And this is a team that I feel like is really going places. I've cast a lot of their games in the past 2 weeks, and I've been very impressed by their play. I really, really do like their drafting quite a bit. It's certainly a little bit off the wall, and this Arachna pick kind of threw me for a loop, but you combine it with that Warbeast, and like you said, they've got fantastic pushing power, they've got good gank potential, and awesome counter initiation potential. You look at it and you say their initiation, it's okay, but their counter initiation is fantastic with that Meraxis and the Legionnaire.
Yeah, for sure.
Excuse me, Meraxis and Pharaoh.
I think the only thing I don't like is the Arachna. I think as long as they could have gone out of the laning phase without the Arachna just getting annihilated, the lane he was in, whatever, then they were good to go. And that's exactly what happened. He did great. I mean, he outfarmed the Torture considerably, and the top lane for the Legion just really didn't get much done. I mean, look at Torture. He's got 90 creep kills in 35 minutes, and he's 1 in 6. it's hard for him to contribute much at this point. And Arachne, on the other hand, is crushing. So yeah, as long as they got out of the laning phase with this Arachne pick, which they did, then yeah, I think it was fine.
Oh, Meraxis goes in with the Quake. They're going to try to turn it around. The Matrax being activated, though, and Meraxis just... He's perfectly fine. He's like, whatever, come at me, bros.
Yep.
Hellflower being applied, but neither team really taking a whole lot of initiation there. Nobody's taking too much damage. And both teams just going to go ahead and back on off. Shieldbreaker now up to level 3 for Warbeast as he's banking an additional 1,600 gold. Hitting very hard at 300 damage with his Rallying Cry up. And that's before the minus armor of that Shieldbreaker. You go into your ultimate form, you get that critical multiplier, and you're doing a ton of damage if you're Warbeast.
Yeah, for sure. I wanted to point out Arachne actually picked up a Nullfire. Yeah.
Interesting.
And, you know, if you look at the Legion team, you may not think there's like that Jair's Eye or whatever to purge, but it is actually very good against Wretched Hag, purging out the snare, and then also the Hellflower. You can purge off the Hellflower.
Oh yeah,
I think you can also purge off the barbed armor as well. So
yes,
interesting pickup. But if you think about it, I think it's fantastic.
Yeah, I really do like it quite a bit, and of course I remember hearing somewhere a while ago when they buffed the Nullfire Blade a couple of times that Nullfire Blade level 2 gives more DPS than any other item in the game for an agility carry except for Wingbow, I want to say, is what I heard.
Really?
Yeah, the amount of agility on it, and then plus the mana burn. I think that was what I heard. Huh. It was on the Hodcast podcast like 6 months or a year ago or something. And I don't know if that person was lying or not, but I'm not smart enough to do that math.
Yeah, I think it's a bit underrated. I mean, you know, purging off the Hellflower can be a huge deal, and the Haunt definitely. It's definitely good. So Hellborn team gonna take out Congar very quickly. Look how fast this thing dies with the extra damage from Warbeast and Arachne. God, that thing disintegrated.
And all the mana burn, so he's not gonna be able to come back up because they burnt all of his mana.
Yeah.
Doesn't have enough to activate that reincarnation.
True.
Wouldn't that be terrible if Kong just like reincarnated and snatched his token back up? Oh, Master of Arms, what are you doing, buddy? What are you... Oh, they're actually going in here as Bubbles does get taken out. I was watching that Master of Arms who literally got disintegrated. What happened with Bubbles? Was he just out of position up there?
I was watching MOA as well.
Yeah, what was that MOA doing?
I don't know. Maybe... I don't know what he's doing over there. I don't know what Bubbles was doing either.
Like, they saw... They could clearly see all the players up here in the top lane just above where the tier 2 tower would have been. And then they disappeared. And Master of Arms is like, I know what I'll do. I'll go into the jungle where it's clearly safe.
I bet Legionnaire wishes he could have done that more often, though. Just kill that MOA. Because it's just blink, charge, ult. Or you don't even have to taunt him if you don't want to. But yeah, good trade for the Hellborn team, of course. Bubbles, he's already back up. He's got that. I don't know if he had his Grave Looker charged or what. Maybe he must have, because he's already back alive. Same time MOA is. Well, they're almost the same level. Okay, never mind. But yeah, 16k, 17k now. Wretched Hag doing some counter pushing herself down here, which is obviously the right call. But MOA is here, but he killed them. Okay, yeah, they're TPing.
Oh yeah, they're TPing in. Wretched Hag gets hit by the charge shot. The Forked Lightning is there as well. Hellflower being applied, and Wretched Hag just disintegrates. Warbeast does a lot of damage. That's the thing. Oh, there's even another team fight going on over here. As Torture is in the middle of things. She's going to be going down, as well as Legionnaire already dropping. I'm sorry I missed the beginning of that team fight. I was still marveling at the damage of Warbeast. But Arachne, she puts out quite a bit of damage too, as it looked like she just absolutely cleaved through the HP of Legionnaire.
Yeah, they just got annihilated. I mean, that was a nice gank bottom. MOA barely getting that stun off, and then the TPs came at a perfect time. But initiation on Meraxis here. He's going to get MOA red ulted. He's getting charged.
Buyback on Legionnaire, yeah. A nice Forked Lightning, though, and the Spider going to be coming out, and Meraxis will fall there eventually. Arachne in some trouble as well, as she's going to be hit by a couple of things. A nice job with that push stick, though, and Arachne will be able to escape at least for now. And they're actually going back in again. Wrath of the Pharaoh goes out onto that Legionnaire. Arachna activates that Geometer's Bane. Look at the damage coming out. Arachna will actually fall. She's going to be brought back up by that Token of Life. Wretched Hag absolutely crushed. Luna going to try to go for the long road, but a couple more out of techs and she goes down. Hat trick coming out for Architiger on that War Beast. Make it a quad kill as War Beast picks up 4. He's going to go for the Annihilation maybe. Rax is going deep. Wretched Hag buys back for the second time. And will War Beast go in again? No, he says screw it. I'm just going to go ahead and take these racks. You guys can have all that Annihilation crap.
Yeah, it looks like the Hellboy team just cleaning up the base. Buyback by Miraxis was excellent. Came in and got that stun. Nice hook from Pharaoh, but they're going to go back in on Hag here. Hellflower and...
If he'd gotten that about 5 or 10 seconds ago, it would have been an Annihilation. GG Well Plays coming out as the vote to concede passes. And congratulations to One Trick Pony. They're going to be moving on to face Dendy's Jungle Devos tomorrow in the Sound Blaster Heroes League Qualifier number 1 Grand Finals. One of those two teams is going to be moving on to the 16-man tournament early on next year, fighting for $40,000 in cash and prizes. So congratulations to One Trick Pony. QsQ777, they're going to go home empty-handed. Next qualifier will be starting in the first week of January, so they're going to have to give it a shot there once again. But Riser, that's going to do it for our coverage of the Sound Blaster Heroes League Qualifier number 1. Huge shout out to you for being here casting a lot of these games with me this week.
Thank you very much. I'd like to give a shout out to Zai because he asked me to. And of course, everyone on my team because I always do that. Maybe I'll stop eventually. Yeah, shout out to OTP and QsQ7. OTP played fantastically. I'm, like you said, pretty impressed and maybe see this team, be on the lookout for them if you're, for an up and new coming team.
Just updating the scrolling title right there. So yeah, going to be very fun. Honcast will have coverage of that grand final tomorrow at 3 o'clock p.m. Eastern time. That's noon Pacific, and that is 9 o'clock Central European time, 9 o'clock at night, that is. So OTP versus Pudge.